We are tracking a rapidly unfolding situation tonight that marks a decisive shift in the trajectory of this conflict. What is now unfolding is not merely another exchange of fire. It is a moment that challenges nearly every assumption that underpinned the strategy going into this confrontation. A third coordinated missile wave originating from Iran has struck Tel Aviv, and the scale, persistence, and implications of this strike place it in a different category from what came before. Across the metropolitan area, video evidence continues to surface, captured from residential districts, commercial centers, highways, and rooftops, showing impacts, secondary explosions, and widespread fires. This is the third time in less than a single day that Israel's primary urban and economic center has come under sustained missile attack. But more importantly, this third wave fundamentally alters the strategic meaning of the conflict. This is no longer about surprise, it is about sustainability. When adaptation fails. After the first missile wave, Israeli and American defense planners moved swiftly. Radar configurations were adjusted, interceptor deployment patterns were shifted, command and control algorithms were updated based on observed missile trajectories. Additional interceptor inventories were repositioned closer to high-risk zones. The expectation heading into the second wave was clear: the systems would perform better. They did not. Following the second wave, the same cycle repeated. Further recalibration, further reassurances, further confidence expressed through official channels that defensive architecture was adapting in real time. Now comes the third wave, and it has delivered the most damaging revelation yet. The process of adjustment itself may have reached its limits. At some point, repeated failure followed by recalibration stops being evidence of adaptation and starts becoming evidence of a structural mismatch between offense and defense. That point may already have been crossed. The Patriot problem goes global. The performance of the Patriot missile system during this third wave carries consequences far beyond Israel. Patriot batteries are not niche assets. They are the backbone of American air defense relationships across Europe, the Middle East, and parts of the Indo-Pacific. Dozens of allied governments have structured their national defense planning around the assumption that Patriot, particularly its most advanced interceptor variant, can provide a reliable shield against modern missile threats. The PAC-3 interceptor was engineered specifically to counter ballistic missiles. Its combat record against older and less sophisticated threats has been repeatedly cited as proof of its effectiveness. But the missile systems now penetrating defenses over Tel Aviv represent a different category of threat altogether. They are faster, they maneuver unpredictably, their flight profiles compress reaction windows beyond what many existing interception doctrines were designed to handle. The third wave has made this gap impossible to ignore. Every military planner watching tonight is asking the same question. If these systems struggle here, how would they perform elsewhere? Iron Dome and the cost of success. The implications for Iron Dome are different, but no less serious. Iron Dome was never designed to counter long-range or hypersonic missiles. Its mission has always been narrower, intercepting short-range rockets and artillery threats aimed at civilian populations. Within that mission set, it has performed extraordinarily well for years. The danger now becoming apparent is not technological failure alone, it is doctrinal overconfidence. Success against one class of threat can quietly shape strategic assumptions. Over time, it can create a belief that defensive dominance in one domain translates into resilience across others. The third wave strongly suggests that this belief may have shaped Israeli defense planning more than policymakers were willing to acknowledge. The footage emerging tonight does not suggest a temporary lapse. It suggests a system being pushed far beyond its original design envelope. Why the third wave matters more than the first two. One missile wave can be dismissed as a shock event. Two waves can still be explained as the expenditure of pre-positioned stockpiles. Three waves tell a different story entirely. Three waves indicate depth. They indicate planning for endurance rather than spectacle. They indicate that the attacking side did not commit its full capability in an opening demonstration, but instead structured its arsenal for sustained operations. This realization dramatically reshapes strategic calculations. It means that decision-makers in Jerusalem and Washington must now operate under the assumption that additional waves remain possible and perhaps likely. Once that assumption sets in, escalation decisions become far more complex. Political pressure inside Israel. For Israel, the domestic consequences of a third strike on Tel Aviv are immense. Public tolerance for risk often depends on confidence in protection. That confidence is now under strain. Citizens are no longer asking whether retaliation will continue. They are asking how future strikes will be stopped. This is a profoundly destabilizing political question in a democratic system under fire. There's no simple answer available, and the absence of one carries political cost. The American dilemma. For the United States, the timing could hardly be worse. American-supplied defense systems are failing under global scrutiny. Energy markets are reacting. Strategic waterways remain under threat, and the conflict is unfolding during a sensitive political cycle at home. The visual impact of defensive systems being overwhelmed matters. It influences congressional oversight, alliance confidence, and public trust. Defense credibility is not built only on classified performance data, it is built on what allies and adversaries can see. Tonight, what they are seeing is unsettling. A theory of victory under strain.
Meanwhile,
at the core of this crisis lies a deeper issue, the original theory of victory. The strategy assumed that rapid strikes would degrade retaliatory capacity faster than political and military costs accumulated. That assumption now appears questionable. If retaliatory capability remains intact after three major exchanges, then the timeline and cost-benefit equation of the entire operation changes. This is no longer a tactical problem, it is a strategic one. Three paths forward. From this point, there are three broad strategic directions available. The first is escalation, an intensified campaign aimed at fully dismantling remaining missile infrastructure. This carries the highest risk of regional expansion. The second is de-escalation through negotiation, temporary pauses and back-channel diplomacy to contain further exchanges. Politically difficult, but potentially stabilizing. The third is reassessment, an acknowledgement that original objectives may require modification based on emerging realities. None of these options offers an easy resolution. The third missile wave over Tel Aviv is more than a battlefield event. It is a message about the limits of air defense, the resilience of dispersed missile forces, and the risks of assuming technological dominance guarantees strategic control. That message is being absorbed tonight in capitals around the world. We continue to monitor developments closely. Any confirmed military, political, or diplomatic movement will be reported immediately. This situation is evolving, and its consequences will extend far beyond the smoke rising over Tel Aviv. Stay with us.